Tabii şu an kısamıyor.
There.
Okay, and so we can come back.
And then England? No, no, and I can't go back. Not until I arrive on foot.
Country, you had to miss your country.
How to say his name?
Okay. We had like this one. This thing was much larger. How much kilo do you
He
have?
has a wheelbarrow, not like this.
Yeah, here's the
It's
different thing.
bigger, right?
Yeah. This. Where this expedition started was at the very bottom tip of South America, and the idea is just to get home. It's to get to the UK unassisted by any transport, and this thing really developed out of just a challenge, a question. Once we'd identified this possible route that links all these continents together, and then asked the question, could we do that on foot, or could I do that on foot? And then the more people that tell you that you can't do it, I think it took a couple of years before people really began to take me seriously. I mean, some of the highlights of this, the difficult parts have been getting through the Darien Gap, that section of jungle from Colombia into Panama, under the nose of the guerrillas during the Civil War, a lot of trouble there. But at the same time, an incredible adventure and an achievement. And then, of course, crossing the Bering Sea, a very dangerous. Russians were not that particularly impressed, and that became a problem. It became a 57-day detention problem, which became a political crisis. So that became a bit of an issue. But eventually, we got beyond that, and we were allowed to continue. There's been a lot of difficult situations. There's been visa bans, the pandemics. There's been the financial crisis, which meant we couldn't get back into Russia. I just arrived at the town of Arequipa in Peru, in the Andes Mountains, and we definitely partied like it was 1999 at that point. Yeah, it was great. It was a fantastic time. It was just there was no financing, so there was survival, and literally they came down to eating trash. And just surviving off the kindness of strangers. For the first couple of years, especially South America was really tough. And Central America, things got a little bit easier. But by the time we reached the border with the United States, and people, I think, had been watching and then took it seriously, then we got our first kind of sponsorship, which was some very small deals, handshake deals, but not real sponsorship. So, yeah, when you think about when I left, it was the end of the 1990s. I mean, the internet was still pretty new, right? If I needed to communicate, I would have to find something called an internet cafe. The camera that I was using was just an Instamatic plastic camera with rolls of 35mm film, which most people couldn't even imagine these days. And, you know, throughout those 26 years, where today we're, you know, touchscreen technologies, and now, I mean, if I wanted, I could have an artificial intelligence on my laptop that I'm carrying. It's just been incredible. And then when you think about it, I began this journey in the last century. I was walking before half the cars on this road were even made, before half the drivers were even born. So from Georgia, from the coast of Georgia down through Turkey, and then along the coast all the way to Samsun, and then you come inland, and then all the way here to Istanbul. It's a 3-month journey so far through. The people make up for that. The people have been fantastic. Long before I get to Turkey, a lot of people will stop me. A lot of travelers that I would meet would tell me about Turkey and tell me that when you get there, you're gonna have trouble advancing in Turkey because everyone wants to bring you in, give you tea and coffee, and you'll be talking to people all day. And it really was kind of like that. You know, you spend a lot of time in people's homes, you meet a lot of people, but that's just a wonderful thing about traveling. And Turkey is one of those countries where you'll definitely experience that. Traveller, and I live in a traveller's world, I speak to people all the time who just tell me that Turkey would be a fantastic country. So I never had any doubts that it wouldn't. It was ingrained in me that Turkey was going to be what it was. And it has been great. Just today, sitting here in this park, waiting for friends to come and all the rest of it, people started sending me food. So that I've had tea, I've had cookies and food, and like the women over here were giving me food and stuff. They don't know me. They haven't seen me, they didn't know what I was doing. But that's just an example, a perfect example of every day they'll see a stranger and they'll just offer you something like that. Some countries you don't see that. Thank you to everybody in Turkey who was, you know, just done a great deal to help me on the road. You fed me, housed me, and kept me entertained, and it's been fantastic. And I really look forward and hope that I can talk to the local government here and hopefully we can come to an arrangement and take a walk across this bridge. If anybody wants to join me, feel free, but I really hope we can do that.